There is a version of you that already knows how to handle everything life is about to throw at it. He doesn't panic when plans collapse. He doesn't beg for approval. He doesn't waste mornings in regret or evenings in distraction. That version of you has existed for 2,000 years, inside a philosophy almost everyone has heard of, and almost no one actually lives by. Default text, it's called Stoicism, and it wasn't built by monks hiding from the world. It was built by emperors, slaves, and statesmen who faced plagues, betrayal, exile, and death, and still found a way to remain unshaken. Today, you're going to learn the 5 laws they lived by, not as quotes to repeat, as instructions to follow. This will take a few minutes to hear, but if you actually apply it, it will change how you experience every difficult day for the rest of your life. So, sit with this. Don't multitask through it. Let it work the way it's meant to. Law number 1. Memento Mori. Remember that you will die. This sounds heavy at first, almost uncomfortable to say out loud. But the Stoics didn't use this idea to depress themselves. They used it as the single most effective tool to wake themselves up. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, reminded himself of this every single morning. Not because he was obsessed with death, but because he understood something most people spend their entire lives avoiding. You don't actually know how much time you have left. Think about how differently you would treat today if you knew with certainty that you only had a limited number of mornings remaining. Would you still waste hours scrolling through other people's lives instead of building your own? Would you still avoid the difficult conversation, the dream you've been postponing, the apology you owe, the workout you keep skipping? Probably not. Because urgency has a strange way of clearing out everything that doesn't actually matter. This is the gift hidden inside an idea that sounds terrifying on the surface. When you remember that your time is limited, you stop wasting it on people who drain you, work that doesn't align with who you want to become, and fears that, when examined honestly, were never as dangerous as you imagined them to be. Most people live as if they have unlimited time, which is exactly why most people delay their most important decisions indefinitely. They'll start the business next year. They'll repair the relationship eventually. They'll take care of their health when things slow down. But things never slow down on their own. You have to be the one who decides that today matters enough to act differently than yesterday. So here is your first practice. Each morning, before you check a single notification, take 10 seconds and remind yourself honestly that this day is not guaranteed to repeat, not as a source of fear, but as a source of clarity. Let it sharpen your choices instead of paralyzing them. Let it remind you that procrastination is a luxury that was never actually promised to you. Law number 2, the dichotomy of control. There are only 2 categories in this universe, what you control and what you don't. This single distinction, properly understood, can dissolve more anxiety than almost anything else available to you. Most suffering doesn't come from events themselves. It comes from fighting against things that were never within your power to begin with. You cannot control what someone else thinks of you. You cannot control the outcome of every effort you make, no matter how hard you try, how well you prepare, or how much you deserve a specific result. You cannot control the past, the economy, the weather, other people's choices, or the unpredictable nature of life itself. What you can control is remarkably small and remarkably powerful at the same time. Your effort, your attitude, your discipline, your response to whatever happens. That's essentially the entire list, and yet most people spend 90% of their mental energy obsessing over the other 90%, the part they were never going to be able to control in the first place. Epictetus, who was born into slavery and somehow became one of history's most influential philosophers, built his entire framework around this idea. He taught that the moment you stop demanding control over external outcomes and instead focus completely on your own effort and character, you become free in a way that circumstances can never threaten. This doesn't mean you stop caring about results. It means you stop attaching your peace of mind to results you were never guaranteed in the first place. You can want a specific outcome and work hard toward it, while still understanding that the actual result depends on dozens of factors outside your hands. When you separate your effort from your need for a specific outcome, something remarkable happens. You stay calm in situations that used to destroy your entire mood. Here is your second practice. The next time something doesn't go your way, pause and ask one simple question. Was this within my control? If the answer is yes, take responsibility and adjust. If the answer is no, release it completely, because holding on to something you never controlled in the first place is simply self-inflicted suffering with extra steps. Law number 3. Amor Fati. Love your fate, exactly as it unfolds. This is perhaps the most difficult law to truly live by, because it asks you to do something that feels unnatural at first. Not just to accept difficulty, but to actually embrace it as necessary material for who you're becoming. Most people treat obstacles as interruptions to their real life, something to get through quickly so they can return to comfort. But the Stoics saw it differently. They believed that obstacles weren't separate from your life. They were your life, disguised as inconvenience, offering exactly the kind of resistance that builds strength no comfortable circumstance ever could. Think about every difficult season you've already survived. The breakup that felt unbearable at the time, the failure that embarrassed you publicly, the financial setback that terrified you. If you're honest with yourself, most of those moments, painful as they were, ended up teaching you something that comfort never could have taught you. Resilience isn't built in easy seasons. It's built in exactly the seasons you wish you could skip. This doesn't mean you have to enjoy pain while it's happening. It means you stop treating pain as proof that something has gone wrong with your life. Resilience isn't built in easy seasons. It's built in exactly the seasons you wish you could skip. This doesn't mean you have to enjoy pain while it's happening. It means you stop treating pain as proof that something has gone wrong with your life. Start treating it as confirmation that you're being shaped into someone stronger than you currently are. The obstacle and the opportunity are frequently the exact same event, just viewed from two different angles. A man who curses every difficult circumstance spends his entire life feeling like a victim of forces beyond his control. A man who learns to ask what this difficulty is trying to teach him spends his entire life growing, regardless of what gets thrown at him. Same world, same difficulties, completely different inner experience. Here is your third practice. The next time something painful happens, resist the urge to immediately label it as purely bad. Instead, ask what this specific situation might be forging in you, what strength it might be building that easier circumstances never could have built. You don't have to feel grateful for pain immediately, but you can choose curiosity over despair, and that single shift changes everything about how you move through hardship. Law number 4, voluntary discomfort. Choose difficulty before difficulty chooses you. Modern life is engineered for comfort in almost every direction. Food delivered to your door, entertainment available infinitely, instantly, climate control adjusting itself before you even notice you're uncomfortable. And while comfort isn't inherently bad, unlimited comfort without any counterbalance slowly weakens a person in ways they don't notice until a real crisis exposes it. The Stoics understood this risk long before modern convenience existed. Seneca, despite being genuinely wealthy, deliberately practiced living simply at times, sleeping on hard surfaces, eating plain food, going without luxuries he could easily afford. Not because he hated comfort, but because he refused to let comfort make him fragile. This is the principle behind voluntary discomfort. You deliberately choose small, manageable difficulties so that when life eventually forces difficulty on you without warning, you're not facing it from a place of complete fragility. A man who is never voluntarily uncomfortable himself in small ways often collapses entirely the first time life forces real hardship on him without his permission. This could look like a cold shower when a warm one would be easier, a hard conversation you've been avoiding instead of the comfortable silence, an early wake-up instead of the extra hour of sleep that never actually leaves you feeling rested anyway. None of these things are dramatic on their own. A hard conversation you've been avoiding instead of the comfortable silence, an early wake-up instead of the extra hour of sleep that never actually leaves you feeling rested anyway. None of these things are dramatic on their own, but repeated consistently, they build a kind of internal toughness that no amount of theoretical motivation could ever produce. Here's the deeper truth hiding inside this practice. Discomfort you choose voluntarily teaches your mind that discomfort is survivable, manageable, even useful. So when discomfort eventually arrives uninvited, as it inevitably will for every single person alive, you're not facing it for the first time. You've already trained for this moment, quietly, in ways nobody else ever noticed. Here is your fourth practice. Choose one small discomfort this week deliberately. Not something extreme or reckless, just something that stretches you slightly outside the version of comfort you've gotten used to. Notice how it feels. Notice that you survive it. Let that small proof build into something larger over time. Law number 5. Memento Vivere. Remember to actually live. We began with Memento Mori, the reminder that you will die. We close with its essential counterpart, Memento Vivere, the reminder that, until that moment arrives, you are still very much alive. And life lived in constant anxiety about its ending isn't actually living at all. This is the balance the Stoics understood so well. Acknowledging mortality isn't meant to make you obsessed with death. It's meant to make you present with life, fully, urgently, without the constant postponement that quietly steals years from people who assumed those years would always be available. So many people spend their entire lives preparing to live, rather than actually living. They wait for the right moment, the right resources, the right amount of confidence, the right circumstances before they allow themselves to actually be present in their own existence. But that perfect moment, the one they're endlessly waiting for, almost never arrives on schedule. Life happens now, in this exact imperfect moment, whether you're ready for it or not. To remember to live means refusing to treat today as a rehearsal for some future version of your life that you're constantly postponing. It means noticing the people in front of you instead of the notifications pulling your attention elsewhere. It means doing the meaningful work today instead of waiting for motivation that conveniently never seems to show up on its own. This is the thread that ties every previous law together. You remember your mortality, not to live in fear, but to live with urgency. You release what you can't control, not to become passive, but to focus completely on what you can influence. You embrace difficulty, not because you enjoy suffering, but because you understand it's shaping you into someone capable of handling an even bigger life. You choose discomfort voluntarily, not to punish yourself, but to build resilience before crisis demands it. And through all of this, you remember to actually live, fully today, instead of an imaginary tomorrow that keeps getting pushed further away. Here is your final practice, and it ties everything together. Tonight before you sleep, ask yourself honestly, did I actually live today or did I just exist through it, waiting for some better day to finally begin? Whatever the answer is, let tomorrow morning be different. 5 laws. 1 life. The Stoics didn't discover these truths to sound impressive in conversation. They discovered them because they were trying to survive real hardship, real loss, real uncertainty, with their dignity intact. And somehow, 2,000 years later, every single one of these laws still applies exactly as powerfully to the life you're living right now. You don't need to become a perfect philosopher overnight. You simply need to choose, one law at a time, one morning at a time, to live slightly more aligned with these principles than you did yesterday. That's not a small commitment. That's actually the entire path. So here is where this leaves you. Not with motivation that fades by tomorrow afternoon. With principles that, if you actually apply them, quietly rebuild the entire architecture of how you experience your life. Remember you will die and let that sharpen how you live. Release what you cannot control and reclaim the peace that was always meant to be yours. Love your fate, even the difficult chapters, because they're shaping someone stronger than you currently are. Choose discomfort before it chooses you, so you're never caught completely unprepared. And remember through all of it, to actually live, today, not in some distant future you keep promising yourself. This is the foundation. Everything else builds from here.